Hi, welcome to live stream Yoga with Louise. Tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. Today we are summoning core control and strength. As always, play where you're comfortable, modify when you need to, rest when you need to. You ready? Let's hit the mat. We're going to start today's practice at the top end of the mat, finding your way into a tall mountain stand with your hands in prayer, actively pressing into one another, activating through the shoulders, arms, and pecs. Then translate this standing mountain into some core activation, waking up your Manipuraka chakra, your core chakra, by softening your knees and adding a little crunch, making hollow belly, rounded back, and start to play dynamically with that tall stand and that little, let's call it a standing crunch. Finding the contraction, holding it for a second or two, and then releasing it. Now let's use this core activation to begin fashioning ourselves a little vinyasa. Start to find that contraction, soften the knees as much as you need to bend down, reaching for the floor, step back into the down dog, and then step back up. We're going to keep high spinal fingertips on the mat so that we are protecting our wrists. We're going to save them for later. And we're alternating the leg that we're stepping back and stepping up on for our down dog frame. If you're comfortable here, you're going to stay with the step through. Otherwise, start using that contraction to hop back and hop up. Starting to make your movement just a little bit more plyometric and starting to build up a little bit more heat energy in the body. Core control throughout. We're going to end in the standing frame. We're going to soften our knees. We're going to draw the right leg up. We're going to take a mini chair on the back leg and we're going to come into a standing crane with the arms soft and relaxed at your side. Nice bend in the elbows. So to build up a nice burn in that back leg. And then straighten up the back leg and see if you can find your way into an aeroplane warrior 3. We're going to take a big step back into a one-legged plank, sweeping the left leg up. You can either stay in the plank line, you can translate it into a three-legged dog, or you can arch your dog and find your way into Wild Thing Kamatrasana, coming into a three-legged table. Lead your way from your three-legged table back into your three-legged dog. Then find a modified one-legged plank by crossing the left foot over the right and holding your plank strong. Using knees or no knees, we're going to chaturanga down onto the belly. As you arrive on the belly, relax the back foot and start to slide the left leg out to the side of the room, making a little half a cactus or half a frog line. Stay here in the cobra line with your palms on the mat, but your elbows off, squeezing into center. If you've got more play on the back, you're going to drop down into the forearms. You're going to take a stretch through the spine, coming into a sphinx line. Press down on that left knee and open up gently into the groin area on the left. Then swivel the right arm in. Start to roll onto your right hip, stepping up the left leg, and see if you can lift the bottom hip off the floor. Maybe bowling action on the top arm, Maybe you can even lift that bottom leg off the mat. Hold. Then find your way back down onto the belly into your Sphinx or your Cobra. Start to slide the right leg up. Find your half a frog line. Press into the inseam of that right leg. So you're pressing that right knee. You're feeling it all the way to the groin on the right. Then you're going to swivel the left arm in. You're going to roll onto the left hip. You're going to step up the right leg. You're going to try to lift your hip off the floor, maybe bowling action on the top arm. Maybe you can even lift that whole left leg off the floor. Use that core. Then bleed your way back down into your Cobra or your Sphinx. Stretch through the line of the spine. Then begin to sweep the arms back, falling onto one rib and lifting both legs, finding your way into a locust line. Then relax your knees, shins, feet to the floor. Bend your elbows, place your palms on the floor and press up into a 4-point kneel. And then pull the knees off the floor and come into a bear hold. We're going to start to oscillate between this bear hold and the down dog. So not quite allowing your knees to touch the floor, exerting, summoning that core control. And then maybe starting to play from our bear into a haunch balance, maybe resting hands on knees or hands to prayer. And start to play bear, haunch line. Staying in the haunch line, or maybe using this as an opportunity to come into crow pose, placing both hands on the floor, squeezing our knees into the triceps, leaning forward, seeing if you can lift one or both feet off the mat. Back to your haunch. And then let's down dog it this time. So walk your hands forward. From our down dog, we're going to do a full plank, or you can relax to the knees. We're going to chaturanga down. We're going to lift feet and hands off the mat, and then back to down dog. So find your way from your down dog to your plank. Use your plank to chaturanga down. Hands and feet off the mat, and then back to down dog. Adding some little dynamic play every now and then to challenge that core. We're going to end in the down dog. We're going to soften the knees. We're going to take a froggy hop, hopping to the outside of the hands. We're going to take a seat in deep squat, malasana, hands to prayer or hands to floor. Then take a seat on the mat, no hands, or using your hands for support, and find your way into a bear, into a boat pose, holding onto the back of your thighs, and then seeing if you can walk your way along the legs, almost hugging the knees in closer, seeing if you can reach for your toes, holding onto your big toes, and then maybe seeing if you can open up into dancing bear, Merudandasana, by extending the legs and holding in a boat-like line. Then back to your bent-legged boat, but this time crossing right leg over left. We're going to fall back into a hollow hold, contracting the abs and keeping head and shoulders and a little bit of your tailbone off the mat. Then using this hollow frame to rock up, uncross the feet, press into the mat, and find your way into gorilla pose by tucking your hands palms down underneath the knees, and then begin to bend and extend the legs dynamically. All right, that was our warm-up round. Let's repeat on the second round, our second side. Hold your extended legs for a little bit, and then we'll feed the hands out. You're going to roll up. You're going to find your original mountain with your hands in prayer, and you're going to find that standing crunch. Pressing into the palms every time you find that little soft rounding through the back and that contraction through your abs. Give yourself a few dynamic crunches to wake up that core. And then start to use that contraction to fold forward. Maybe you can use less bend in the knees. Start to find your step through into a down dog and your step back up. You can even think of this as a burpee walkthrough. Stay here or start to hop instead of stepping up and down. Summoning that core to work for you. Landing softly on the balls of your feet every time. We're going to end in the standing frame at the top end of the mat. We're going to draw the left knee up. We're going to bend the right knee and we're going to find our standing crane. Soft bendy elbows, but relaxed hands. We're going to transition into our Warrior 3 aeroplane. One-legged table. And then step it back, sweep the right leg up, either coming into a one-legged plank, or a three-legged dog, or an arching three-legged dog, or a three-legged table. Wild thing, Kamakra-san. If you were in the three-legged table, you're going to bleed your way back to your three-legged dog, then back to your one-legged plank, but you're going to cross your right leg over the left. You're going to hold steady for a moment, summoning that core. Then you're going to chaturanga down using knees or no knees, keeping those legs crossed. As you arrive on the belly, relax the legs, start to open up the right knee to the side of the room, staying in your cobra with palms on the floor, but elbows squeezing in. Or transitioning into more of a sphinx line and looking for more work through your back line. Then float the left arm in, start to roll onto the left hip. See if you can come into your modified side plank, lifting your hips off the floor, maybe bowling action on the top arm. Maybe you can even summon your core and lift your bottom leg off the mat. Find your way back down to either your sphinx or your cobra, back on the belly. Then right arm coming in as that, sorry I forgot, left leg out first. Let's find that little press into the groin first. Then we'll rotate that right forearm in. We'll begin to roll onto the right hip. We'll set up that little modified side plank, lifting your bottom hip off the floor. Maybe you can bowling action on the top arm. Maybe you can lift that bottom leg right off the floor. Summon that core control. Back down onto the belly. We're going to morph this sphinx into more of a traditional locust. Maybe start to drop down so one rib's connected, sweep the arms back, find a double leg lift, and a nice bow frame through the back. Hold it. And then let's ease our way from here into a bear hold. Think 4-point kneeling with the knees off the mat. And we'll switch it up this round. We'll walk back into our butterfly haunch. Maybe hands in a mudra, hands to floor, hands to prayer. Start experimenting and see what you can play with. And we're going to alternate at least 5 times between the bear and our butterfly haunch line. Finding a little rhythm. And then maybe ending either in the bear hold this time, or holding your butterfly haunch line, or finding your way into crow pose, looking for that little forearm balance. Find your way back to the haunches, wherever you decided to play. And then we'll start to ease our way from here into a down dog. So as you come to the hands, start to walk them slightly forward so that you can find that piking position through the bum. Then plank line. Knees or no knees to chaturanga down. Onto the belly, lift your feet, lift your hands. Back to down dog. Back to plank. Chaturanga down. Lift your feet, lift your hands. Shoot for maybe 4 to 5 repetitions. We're going to end in the down dog frame. We'll use the down dog frame to take a froggy hop. And then take a seat into deep squat. Hands on the floor, maybe pressing up with the elbows, or perhaps you're feeling more of a prayer-like push. You could do a solid push of your hands, or you could just be pressing into the tips of your fingers. Mix it up. See where you need to be. We're going to take a seat from here into our balancing boat. Sans hands, or you can use hands on the floor behind you to find your boat. We're going to walk our way closer to the toes. We're going to see if we can translate our boat into a balancing bear. Then back to our boat, and this time left leg crosses over right. We're going to find that contraction, that activation of our Manipuraka chakra to fall back into a hollow hold. Shoulders, chest off the mat, a little bit of your tailbone off the mat. Nice tight contraction. Then roll up, unravel your legs. Walk your way into the soft forward fold. Hands tucking, palms up underneath the feet, and then begin to bend and extend dynamically through the legs. We're going to try to end with the legs extended, trying to rock some weight into the balls of the feet and feel that intense stretch in gorilla pose, Parahastasana. Then we're going to bleed up And we are going to run through that as a faster paced vinyasa, playing on one side and then repeating on the other. Hands gently to prayer for your standing crunch for 5. Faster, smoother transitions this round. Then start to do your burpee walk or hop through for 5. We're going to end in the mountain frame. We're going to transition to our crane, floating the left leg up. We're going to ease our way into a warrior 3 with aeroplane arms. And if you catch a wobble, that's okay. We're going to do a step through into a one-legged plank, a three-legged dog, an arching dog, or a three-legged table. Back to plank. Cross your right leg over your left. Chaturanga down. Start to unravel your legs. Slide the right leg out, finding your half a frog. You could do it from the cobra line or the sphinx line. Then left arm in, roll onto your left hip, finding your step up. Bowling action, maybe lifting your bottom leg off the mat as you come into that modified elbow side plank. Then back to your belly in cobra or sphinx. Start to pull the left knee up, set up your half frog line. And right arm in, rolling onto the right side of the body to find your modified side plank. Find the variant that speaks to you. Then back to the belly. We're going to morph into a locust line. Then ease your way from here into your bear. And start to play with your bear and your haunch line for 5. Setting your rhythm and pace. Then deciding whether you'd like to end either in a bear hold for an extended period or maybe a butterfly haunch for an extended period, or maybe a little foray into a crow arm balance. From here, we're going to find our way into a haunch butterfly. We're going to use the haunch butterfly to walk out into a down dog and find our next mini plane. Planking it out, using knees or no knees to find your way onto the belly. Lift your palms and your feet off the mat. Back to down dog. Plank to chaturanga. Lift your feet in your hands, and we'll do at least 3 more rounds, playing with those poses and fashioning ourselves a mini working vinyasa. We're going to end in the down dog frame. We're going to use it to take a froggy hop wide. We're going to end in a deep squat, picking the arm line that resonates for you. Then let's take a seat in boat from here. We're going to find our way into Merudandasana, balancing bear. Back to boat. Let's cross right over left. We're going to do a fall back into a hollow hold. We're going to uncross to rock up, finding our way into gorilla pose with the hands tucked underneath the feet. We're going to bend and extend dynamically, and then hold and lean into the balls of our feet. And lead your way up, restack, realign. Find your way to mountain, hands in prayer, and transition into your standing crunch. Start to morph into your burpee hop or step through for 5. We're going to end in a mountain stand at the top end of the mat, and we're going to transition to crane, lifting the right knee, bending the back leg, and allowing for those soft, bendy, balancing arms alongside. Transition into a warrior 3. So think of this as a one-legged table. We're going to step back, sweeping the left leg into either a one-legged plank, a 3-legged dog, an arching dog, or a little 3-legged tabletop. However you decided to play, find your way into a one-legged plank, crossing the left ankle over the right. Chaturanga down when you're ready, loading those arms, working that core. Relax onto the mat and slide the left knee out, setting up your one-legged frog, either from the cobra line or the sphinx line. Find your way into your elbow side plank play. Back to the belly for your cobra or your sphinx. And then start to pull the right knee up. Set up your one-legged frog. Morph it into a side plank. Playing where you're comfortable. Bleeding back down to the belly. And transforming into a locust line. We're going to find our bear hold from here. So think 4-point kneel with a balancing or hovering knee. Start to oscillate between the bear and a haunch line that works for you. Giving yourself maybe 5 4 rays between the 2. Just looking for a gentle working rhythm and exercising some core control, summoning it to work for you. Then you could elect to end either in an extended bear hold or an extended butterfly haunch hold, or you can transition and summon a crow. Then ease your way from here into some down dog play. Start to walk your hands forward. Then down dog, plank to chaturanga. On the belly, feet and hands off. Back to your down dog. Plank to chaturanga. Let's call this a belly lift. And give yourself at least 3 more plays. We're going to end in the down dog frame. We're going to use it to take a froggy hop wide. You're going to take a seat in deep squat. Then onto your bottom for a boat, transitioning into Merudandasana, dancing bear, trying to get a toe hold. You could modify holding onto the calves or holding onto the back of your thighs, and you could use as much bend in those legs as you need. Then back to boat, but this time we're going to cross left over right. We're going to find that core activation to fall back into a hollow hold, shoulders and head off the floor, tip of your tailbone off, nice tight contraction. Then rock it up, walk your way into a stand, tucking your palms underneath your feet and starting to bend and extend through the knees. Maybe ending with a leg extension and more weight into the balls of your feet. And then we're going to play with a little standing series. We'll use strap for the first round, and then we'll try no strap on the second round. So soften your knees, find your way to a stand, and then reach for a strap. You could use a belt, you could use a hand towel. If you've got a strap that's got a little buckle on the end, maybe you can fashion yourself a little loop to insert your foot. We're going to play right side first. So feed the loop around your right foot and just make sure that you've got enough room to extend the leg in front and extend the leg out behind you and to the side of you for that matter. And you could do this series on your mat, off the mat, against the wall. You could even find a sturdy piece of furniture if you like. So we're going to lift the right leg up, holding onto the strap in the right hand. We're going to look for balance on the left, picking the arm line that works for you. We're going to hold it for between 10 and 20 seconds. And then you're going to open it up to the side of the room in a beeline, and you're going to hold for 10 to 20 seconds. Then you're going to come back to your A-line. You're going to give yourself more strap, and you're going to float the leg behind you. We're coming into a modified warrior 3, and you could hold onto the strap with one hand and come into a one-legged table with a big leg. And release. Leave the strap out. We're going to repeat on the second side, and you're going to hold your A, your B, and your modified dancer for as long as you're comfortable with. So don't worry about how long I'm holding. Play where you're comfortable. We're going to find our A-line stretch first, holding left. We're going to transition to a B when you're ready. And you're going to come back to the A. You're going to give yourself more strap, and you can place the strap on the outside if you're more comfortable with it there. We're going to transition. We're going to hold the strap with one or two hands. Maybe you need to use your right arm as your counterbalance as you transition into your dancer. Then come back. You can play for another round with the strap, or you can try maybe this round sans strap. You're going to find a big toe hold on the right. We're going to extend out into an A-line stretch, holding for between 10 to 20 seconds. And when you're ready, try the V-line. And when you're ready, bring it back. Transition into dancer. Kicking that foot up and away from your bottom. Then bring it down, shake it out, and try the same on the second side. Playing in your own time. A-line, B-line, dancer. And then maybe giving yourself one last round, repeating on both sides with or without strap, supported or unsupported by a wall or a piece of furniture. Remember to work both sides. Then finding your way from here, once you've completed your last round, into maybe a seat, or you could come into a supine position, maybe lying on the back in corpse pose for a few moments of quiet contemplation. So pick what works for you. Maybe look for an opportunity to close your eyes, take your focus inward. And think about the key word for today's practice, which was the word summon. Summon the courage to fulfill your dormant dreams. Some of your dreams might at first seem impossible, even improbable. Then, when you summon the courage and the will, you might find them morphing into something incredibly inevitable. The switch happens inside your head. Summon the courage. Surprise yourself. With those thoughts, let's end off today's practice, bringing our hands together in front of our heart, wherever we are. Namaste. Thank you so much for summoning the courage to come and play with me today. Till next time, keep it light.